Hello, UltraBuzz TV family, and welcome back. Once celebrated as a royal rebel who brought laughter into Buckingham Palace, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, was supposed to live the perfect fairy tale. She had the prince, the palace, the fame, but behind the velvet curtains and tiaras,
once adored as the fun-loving duchess who brought laughter to the royal family, Sarah Ferguson's life has become a cautionary tale. From palace prestige to scandal and shame.
This is the untold story of how one woman went from royal sweetheart to the monarchy's most controversial outcast.
The story of how the Duchess of York fell from grace. When Sarah Margaret Ferguson married Prince Andrew in July, odds with royal expectations. Reports emerged that the Queen disapproved of her informality and her spending. They remained the Duke and Duchess of York. And then, in the summer of 1992, came the habit.
Queen Elizabeth's second son.
Sarah, it seemed, was struggling to fit the mold. By the early 1990s, the marriage was all but over in private.
Unlike Princess Diana's quiet grace, Fergie brought laughter, clumsiness, and charisma to the monarchy. Newspapers called her the People's Duchess. When she waved from the Buckingham Palace balcony in her ivory gown, it looked like a perfect royal romance, a future queen in the making. But behind that smile, cracks were already forming. Prince Andrew's naval career kept him away for months, sometimes longer. Fergie, left behind, tried to find purpose, attending charity events, working with children, and carving her own space in royal life. Yet in the palace, whispers began. Some said she was too loud, too modern, too informal. Even the Queen reportedly raised an eyebrow at her spending habits and her unfiltered humor. What once made her beloved, her authenticity, was now seen as defiance. And in the royal world, defiance has a cost. By the early 1990s, the marriage was crumbling. Andrew's absences, the media pressure, and Fergie's growing frustration created the perfect storm. And then came 1992, the year that would destroy her image forever. It was a warm August day in the south of France. Sarah had taken her daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, on holiday in Saint-Tropez. Also there, an American financial advisor named John Bryan. The Duchess relaxed by the pool, sunbathing topless while her children played nearby. Then, the moment that changed everything. Hidden paparazzi cameras captured Bryan kissing and sucking her toes. The photos hit the front pages within hours. Fergie's toe-sucking scandal screamed every headline in Britain. It was one of the most humiliating
in July
royal
1986,
moments of the century.
Britain gained a duchess who seemed to embody warmth, humour and relatability. She wasn't the polished aristocrat the royal family was used to, but that's precisely why the public adored her. Nicknamed Fergie, she was lively, red-haired and down-to-earth. A perfect contrast to the stiff upper lip of royal tradition.
Fergie was instantly ostracized. Within days, she was ordered to leave Balmoral. The woman once welcomed with open arms was now cast out, her royal privileges quietly stripped away. It was the end of her royal life, though the official divorce wouldn't come until 1996. From that moment on, the tabloids had a new obsession. Fergie, the fallen duchess. After her separation, Sarah Ferguson's world spiraled. Without royal financial backing, she faced mounting debt. Reports suggested unpaid bills, extravagant spending, and disastrous business decisions. Former staffers claimed she hosted banquets fit for a king, even as her accounts neared zero. Desperate to rebuild her reputation, she turned to the media. She sold her stories, signed commercial deals, and became a frequent face on American talk shows, trying to reinvent herself as a public figure. At times, it worked. She was funny, charming, and relatable again. But the shadow of her past never left. In 2010, another scandal erupted. Fergie was caught in a sting operation, secretly filmed offering access to Prince Andrew for £500,000 to an undercover journalist posing as a businessman. She was exposed worldwide. The footage aired on TV, a former duchess trading royal connections for cash. Once again, headlines screamed betrayal. Once again, Fergie apologized, but apologies couldn't repair the damage. By now, she had become a tabloid cautionary tale, the duchess who could never stay out of trouble. Just when it seemed her controversies were behind her, a darker chapter began. In 2011, Sarah Ferguson's past with the late financier Jeffrey Epstein resurfaced. She had publicly claimed to cut ties with him, but new emails suggested otherwise. The Duchess had written Epstein calling him her steadfast, generous, and supreme friend. She even apologized for criticizing him in the media. The revelation stunned Britain. It wasn't just bad judgment. It was a scandal tied to one of the most infamous men in modern history. Charities immediately distanced themselves. Public trust evaporated overnight. Even Buckingham Palace
came the scandal that would haunt her forever. It was August 1992 when photographers captured one of the most shocking royal scandals of the 20th century. The Duchess of York was on holiday in Saint-Tropez with her two young daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, joined by her American financial advisor
and Prince Andrew's controversies. The once beloved Duchess had become one of the most toxic figures in royal circles. Fast forward to 2025. While Prince Andrew's reputation remains in ruins, Sarah Ferguson faces her own crisis. The future of Royal Lodge, the £30 million Windsor mansion she still shares with Andrew. King Charles reportedly wants the couple out. He's determined to streamline the monarchy, reduce costs, and move past decades of York family drama. But Fergie refuses to leave, despite not being an official royal anymore. She still calls Royal Lodge her home. Sources close to the palace say tensions are boiling. Charles allegedly views the Yorks as a lingering embarrassment, and with Epstein's shadow still looming, patience is wearing thin. Inside Royal Lodge, Fergie continues to project optimism, giving interviews about forgiveness, spirituality, and resilience. But behind the smiles, insiders say she's desperate to protect the last thing she has left, her home, her dignity, and the illusion of belonging. It's the ultimate royal irony. A woman who once had the world at her feet, now fighting to keep the roof over her head. Sarah Ferguson's story is no longer just about scandal. It's about survival. She's faced humiliation, betrayal, debt, and public disgrace. Yet she keeps returning to the spotlight. Some call her foolish. Others call her fearless. But perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. For decades, she's walked a fine line between royal prestige and celebrity desperation. A woman forever trying to rewrite her own ending. Even Queen Elizabeth II, known for her quiet forgiveness, reportedly reached her limit long before her death. Today, Sarah remains a royal in name, but not in status. Her daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, continue to support her, but the monarchy's doors remain closed. And still, she refuses to give up. "I'm the most forgiving person I know," she once said. But forgiveness from the public and from a royal family may be harder to earn than she ever imagined. From palace parades to tabloid humiliation, Sarah Ferguson's life is a royal paradox. A woman loved by millions, yet rejected by the only family that ever truly mattered. Her downfall isn't just her story. It's the monarchy's reflection in a changing world. One mistake, one photograph, one bad choice, and the fairy tale turns to ashes. So the question remains, can Sarah Ferguson ever rebuild her image? Or will the Duchess of York always be remembered as the royal who lost everything? Let us know in the comments. Should King Charles let her stay at Royal Lodge? Has Fergie paid her price? Or is this royal chapter finally over? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more royal revelations, scandals, and truths they don't want you to know. This is UltraBuzz TV, uncovering the stories behind the crowns.